Chairman, 3 years ago this week, the Presidential Commission on the BP Deepwater Horizon oil spill and offshore drilling released its final report on the causes and the lessons of the tragedy that claimed 11 lives and resulted in the release of nearly 5 million barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico, what some have called the greatest environmental disaster in the region ever. That report concluded that the incident could have been prevented, that a culture of complacency had taken root with both drillers and regulators, and that significant reforms were urgently needed before we moved forward. The Commission made dozens of recommendations, urging the oil and gas industry, the executive branch, and Congress to take immediate action to assure that the appropriate levels of human safety and environmental protection were observed. The administration and the industry have, in large part, followed through. With more work needed, we still should fully enact the recommendations of the Oil Spill Commission. Congress, however, has lagged behind. In 2012, on the 2-year anniversary of the Deepwater Horizon explosion, the former commissioners assigned a grade of D, as in Delta, to Congress, saying that, quote, Congress did nothing about the many other critical issues the Commission identified to improve safety and environmental protection, end quote. 1 year later, the grade jumped to D+, in recognition of the passage of the Restore Act, but the commissioners stressed that Congress had, quote, provided neither the leadership nor the support, end quote, for efforts to make offshore drilling safer. Today, we're seeing an example of that lack of leadership and support from the majority here. The Democrats have made improving offshore safety a priority since the tragedy. We've passed the CLEAR Act that summer, which would have enacted critical safety and environmental reforms. We brought forward a bill in 2011 to enact the recommendations of the Oil Spill Commission. Last year, I introduced the Big Oil Bailout Prevention Act to raise the recklessly low $75 million liability cap on offshore spills, and the Ocean Energy Safety and Technology Improvement Act to adopt recommendations from the National Academy of Sciences to promote the use of the best available and safest technology offshore. But the majority's main priority has been to open up more of our oceans to drilling. Even the one bill they passed that would have enacted any of the Commission's recommendations was mainly about forcing lease sales in new areas, short-circuiting environmental reviews, and putting up roadblocks to public protests. Today, they turn their attention to the Atlantic and how to use seismic exploration as the first step toward opening up the entire Atlantic seaboard to drilling. I believe that would be a huge mistake. We should not be risking our fishing and tourism industries, sustainable industries that bring in over $45 billion each year and support 500,000 jobs in New Jersey alone, because the energy companies want to get their hands on a quick oil buck. A little extra oil that I might add, the oil and gas industry has made clear they would rather export than use for the benefit of American consumers. Why should the fisheries, the tourism, the residents, the coastal businesses of the Atlantic Ocean be burdened with all the risks while the reward goes to the foreign fossil fuel companies and consumers? It's foolish to rush to open new areas to offshore drilling before we have heeded the lessons of the last disaster. Those lessons and those disasters keep coming. Just in the past 14 months, we've had 2 major offshore explosions in shallow water, one of which cost 3 offshore workers their lives. There have been a number of other losses of well control, as Dr. Bosch details in his testimony. Unfortunately, none of these has motivated the majority to hold any hearings on shallow water drilling safety. That's unfortunate. It is interesting that the chairman says that production on federal land is down. That's not true. Production on onshore federal lands is up by 35%. And as for offshore drilling, not only is it not surprising that it takes a while to recover from the greatest environmental disaster and safety debacle that we've seen. But we should be going slow to make sure that we do it right. This obstinacy by the majority won't stop my efforts to draw attention to these issues, to push for adoption of serious, meaningful reforms to make offshore drilling safer, not just more prevalent. I thank the witnesses for being here today.
Okay, I thank the judge.